Becca Bloom is getting mixed responses.
She's a marketing project from luxury companies who are losing towards China today. So when the money is off the table, there's always affluence and power that opens the doors long before you knock on them. You don't chase the bees, you create a garden that attracts them. Through social media, I can connect with million rooms at the same time. Social media gives you that great opportunity. I think the whole narrative is changing. Like the things that you can gift as a worthy gift changed. You can give stocks, you can give like many different things. Everything is marketing. We might not really need cigarettes, alcohol, but we still use and do them just because we're marketed.
And I love having point of view from the people who are not from the industry because they're not biased.
AI generated content is so great, it's really difficult to see the difference.
If given chance to redesign something as iconic as A Diamond is Forever for DBS, what it would be? If branding is marriage, marketing is surely dating. I'm Krishna Raj, host of the Jewellery Pod, where I bring new narrative from the jewelry industry. It makes me feel proud that this is only one and only first podcast of the jewelry, and whole idea is to unlearn and adapt. In this quest, I am searching new tools for marketing which can resonate with buyers of today. It's age-old campaign that we are stuck with, A Diamond is Forever. It was launched in 1947, but what we are doing as on today. Do you still believe that diamond is forever? I believe it's challenged on many other levels. To decode this, I have got a marketing expert with me who I'm sure you would have seen on internet. She's going viral for all the great tips on marketing. Even Meta wants her, but let's know from her what she wants from all the social media and her journey. Let's join our hands to welcome Natalie and know from her what industry can do together. Hi Natalie, welcome to the Jewellery Pod.
I'm so happy to be here, especially in the times when the things are shifting, right? Now, like the old diamonds are not the things anymore. The kind of people go for the lab ones. So I'm super excited to be here because what you're doing is really exciting. I've never seen anybody doing this niche specific podcast before. So when you reached out, I was like, wow, like I want to be here. Let me come back to Dubai. Once I'm there, I'll reach out. And I literally I arrived 2 days ago and I'm here. So I'm super excited. Thank you.
We're very thankful to have you on this platform. You're doing phenomenal, I have to admit, on this platform. And it's amazing how everyone wants to work with you and you have veto power of choosing your clients. Again, kudos to that kind of work. Before I could ask you that, how did you reach to that level where people wanting to connect with you, how you paved path for yourself?
In everything in life, I believe that you don't chase the bees. You create a garden that attracts them, right? So if you're somebody who's valuable, who does beautiful things and offers the good value to the people, they kind of get attracted to you naturally. Of course, what I do is through social media where my arena and my stage is bigger. Like I can connect with more people at the same time. Like my biggest reels, they have like a couple of million people watching them, right? So imagine if you could be in a couple of million rooms at the same time. In reality, you can't, but social media gives you that great opportunity. So when you have that value, it gets multiplied by the people that watch it. So that's kind of the secret. That's it.
And how was your journey so far? You were a marketing professional with a company. You studied marketing, or how it worked for you?
See, my mom always told me when I was even like 10, 12, like, you're so good with people. You're so good in understanding like how to deal with people. You're in marketing. But I was like, no, Mom, architecture is the thing I want to do. So at the end of the day, I studied architecture. But then happened so that I somehow happened to be in high ticket sales. And I was dealing with multi-million-dollar like business deals in UAE here, working with Emirati families, and it was beautiful time, good commissions, good money. But then the things changed, they shifted, and I understood, okay, fine, sales is sales, but I want to do something more, bigger scale. And then I understood that bigger scale is social media, basically, because we can be talking right now and like nobody could hear us. But if we're recording this as a podcast, we can multiply it as many times as we want, right? So that was like, I wanted to scale, and social media definitely gave me that opportunity.
And what was a eureka moment for you to understand the psychology of the buyers or someone who wants your service or marketing in general?
I think every salesperson, everybody who sells good is good psychologist. You know, understanding the feelings and the purpose and the mechanics of the sales. And if you crack that once, I can sell jets and I can sell towels. You know, I can sell everything because social media is the same, right? You understand what people are looking for, then you deliver it. And then you're successful. So that's the algorithm, if we say it in one single word, you know.
I totally second that because I'm in sales too, and bringing the pain points of my clients, they all love me for the homework I do for them.
Yeah.
So imagine going to same clients for more than a decade is no joke, right? And you're still keeping yourself interesting. I have decoded their mindset that when it's right time to go, what they would want, if there's a room for introducing anything new. Talking about jewelry industry, if I could give you a brief background, it is surely a place you will hear lots of words like legacy, heirloom, family jewelers, and it is a very traditional, non-organized industry which is trying to find its own way. Though we are talking millions, but we don't have a clear way of. There are no rule books for this industry.
Yeah.
It works different for you. It works different for me. And now that international borders are not so friendly anymore. It is disrupted, but if you say it's stuck, no. The beauty of this industry is that it finds its own way somehow or the other. And what challenge it's facing as on date is a recall with a new generation buyer. Because if I talk to a cousin of my own or who's probably 5 years younger to me or someone who's in school, they won't even talk about jewelry. Like it's not even in their top 10 list. And it's a scary situation for the industry. The whole idea is to bring back the narrative of jewelry, that they do start talking about it. I'm not talking about like big tickets, but even something you would want to wear it in a party or to your friend's place, even for gifting. They choose different stuff, but jewelry, and how we can fix that.
Well, the thing is, I think the whole narrative is changing of what the jewelry is. At that time, let's say century ago, it was more of a worthy gift, but now, like the things that you can gift as a worthy gift changed, right? You can give stocks, you can give like many different things that I would say just the excess became larger and wider, right? So I think that everything is marketing, right? We have a lot of products in our daily life that we might not really need, cigarettes, alcohol, but we still use and do them just because we're marketed coffee. I want to talk about coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink matcha anymore. I used to be big matcha lover girl. But then at some point I understood all of it is kind of pushed upon us with the marketing chains and etc. And we're just users by default, right? There's a beautiful story with Japanese people. They didn't know coffee, what it is, how it tastes. They didn't like it. As a beer, you know, first time you taste a beer, it's like disgusting. But then you second, third time, just because you kind of sure it's going to be good at some point, so you continue doing it. So what happened in Japan is they understood that society wasn't ready for it. They're not going to adapt it. Why would they, right? There's matcha for them, so why would they? So what happened is the coffee companies introduced coffee flavor in the kids' candies. So the new generation grew up with the coffee flavor in their candies, and what happened is with the time, they started to be consumers of the coffee. So that's how the marketing works, right? Marketing is trying to push on you the things that you might need or you might not need, right? Because you're a consumer. So again, I feel that jewelry, you need to come up with some story behind it. You need to kind of speak aside. You're not selling the item, you're selling the story most of the times. You're selling what it brings to you. So if you can come up with that story, you're going to be successful, no matter who you are, jewelry, cars, and etc.
But that's what I've got you here to understand better who would be the right person to speak about it. Do you think influencers have to do it, marketing companies who have to do it, or the diamond site holders? Retailers are the front face of the industry. Do you think they need to be trained in a way that they do speak about this, how it will work for them? Imagine someone is graduating today from college and they say, oh, let me go and buy a pendant for myself, a solitaire pendant, 1 carat for myself. Do you think that narrative could be imbibed in this generation down the line 5 years?
See, let's go back to the history, right? The times when the beers introduced the famous diamonds are forever, right? Before that, nobody was like, the rings were simple, or there were no rings, or, based on situation. But after that narrative was introduced, the sales peaked, right? So I think the same structure should be introduced, and something that will push people to go towards the jewelry and the diamonds, and just buying it as something more than just the item. We know in South Asia and like Asian countries in general, like jewelry has huge impact, right? The minute the child is born, because I have a couple of clients who
Yeah.
who are from that part of the world, and we had a long research about understanding how the psychology works, and was the minute that the purchase process starts, because transaction and the purchase itself, it's not when decision is made long before. It's kind of decoded in your brain. Okay, if the child is born, I need to get them this little piece of the ankle jewelry, you call it, or what it is.
Something related with gold, which so whole idea of buying jewelry as tradition is imbibed so that they can actually sell it in terms of when it's rainy day, when something goes wrong. That's the whole idea, and how tradition is molded into a marketing campaign, or you can say psychology of buying gold or something that you could invest down the line and pass on to your generation is the core idea.
See, so there is idea behind it. So the question is, for the companies who want to grow today, like, what is the idea you can give? Like, what is the thought behind you can give? Because items, you don't buy items. When you buy a watch, it gives you like the status. When you arrive on a nice car, it gives you the status. When, let's say, you buy from Amazon, it gives you that like quick delivery. So you're not really buying the item, you buying all the things that it brings to you. So the question I would answer if I was the owner and the founder or marketer, right? Okay, what is that I can come up with that will be more than the item I'm selling? And then you connect on the deeper level of psychology, and you're like kind of manipulating in a good way to get the sales. That would be too much of an honor, to be honest. I don't believe in redesigning. I believe in just creating something that works for today. I would think, because times have changed, and drastically, and I mean not even 100 years ago, but in the recent 20 years, and how people purchase, it really changed. Like, decisions made now are completely different mechanics behind it than it used to be. So I'm very like engineering. I love to like go back and understand and reverse engineer the things. So that's what I would do. I would understand, okay, what's the thing that people are looking for now, and how can I satisfy that craving? So that's it.
And also, it's not on your top priority as of now. Jewelry comes as once your basic needs are done, your traveling needs are done, your shopping needs are done. So it actually lies in a top of the hierarchy, or probably last in the list, when people actually started thinking to, oh, let's go and get some jewelry. But honestly, scene is not that bad. It's just about the recall. As you rightly said, it's imbibed in genes of South Asian community and people in general. It's not a dead end for the industry, but in terms of marketing, yes.
Let me interrupt you, because people make up the space and the money for what they think is important, right? I know a lot of people who don't travel, don't maybe drive a nice car, but just because iPhone is important for them, they will give away their last penny, So I would think from the narrative and perspective, how can I make it look so important that people will rather spend on this than, let's say, on something else? So I wouldn't leave it as a last resort. I would just change the narrative fully. Because again, right, if we look back on the example I said, people find the money when they want.
One favorite marketing campaign that you feel might work for the industry because it changed whole bottom line for that particular brand?
That's a very good question. Let me kind of think of it. I'll answer, because nothing really comes to my mind right now, because there are many brilliant ones, right? There are so many good marketers around the globe who are doing brilliantly their work, and sometimes I'm looking at like, wow. And the thing is, it shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't be, well, definitely Coca-Cola, which doesn't really relate to your, but so what they did, they created Santa Claus, kind of, right? All these red cars driving around during the Christmas time. That kind of created their code and understanding, okay, who they are, what they bring. The Nike, the big names, we also have like even Lululemon. Basically, they kind of changed understanding of what matcha Pilates girly should wear.
It's more of a cult marketing where they try to build a community. But having said that, I really believe in creating a community. Brands creating community, it's the way through. Do you think so?
Yeah, because our craving as people is that we need community, we like connection. Even yesterday, I told you I was a speaker on an event, and people paid big money to be there. Couldn't they just chat on WhatsApp or Zoom call? No, they flew from Europe, Australia, different countries, USA, just to be there. And I understood, I was thinking about it, that's a really good question, right? People crave to be connected. They don't want the items, because items, when you cross certain level of income, are very accessible. Whatever you want, you order, you get, especially in Dubai, let's be honest. In 2 hours, you get whatever. I just booked massage therapist for afternoon, like within 5 minutes. So it gets very accessible. So people crave this connection. And I'm sure you're going to at some point ask about AI. The thing is, people will still crave connection. So yeah, AI will automate a lot of things, but these like community things will remain forever.
It is still a community, but it's not loud and clear. And none of the Instagrams of brands I follow, I'm not talking about the Richemont brands or the LVMH. I'm talking about brands in general who are actually leading the game in GCC and India. They always say that buy this from us, or this is what we have. They never show, like, I like what Mountain Dew is doing, what Red Bull is doing.
Yeah.
Because none of their campaigns say that buy this from XYZ store or 7-Eleven. They always show the adventure. They show that thrill, that rush that I feel with someone going down the hill on a bicycle. And that's what I like. And I have this open question to the industry that instead of opening like brick and mortar shops behind next to each other, right beside each other, they need to invest big time in this, because today's buyer is not in the stores. He's not on the streets.
Yeah.
He's on his phone.
See, what you said is so smart, like really good note. The thing is, I'll go back to the family, right? So what I think the jewelry companies need to, in this case, make more highlight on is show jewelry as part of the family values and the core that keeps continually. I have the jewelry that we have from grandparents, and we cherish it, not because we're gonna sell it at some point, but just because as it's valuable as something that has a history. So what you said is so right? I would create community around that, saying, okay, jewelry is something that you can share alongside the generations, and it will remain and will keep the value, right? A lot of things you like, they just don't, or just decrease in value. So maybe that's the narrative I would speak about.
And we are very proud to also share that jewelry or diamonds are only commodity that you can encash when in times of need, and not only in your local vicinity. If you're traveling outside, and if there are beautiful stories around people when they moved out of country, out of wars and disruptions, but they could make it because they carried few jewelry with them or diamonds with them, and they could start a new life in the other country.
There is a, I guess, very famous actor. I don't remember the name, but he always wears gold enough. If he travels and somewhere he like passes away, they can always sell it for his burial, basically. So it's always enough for him to get buried. So I don't know if it's true or not, okay? I'm just saying from what I read, but that's a beautiful story, right? So it gives you kind of safety and certainty, okay? If something goes wrong, I can always feel safe anywhere.
As a new age marketer, what would you suggest are 3 essentials for the jewelry industry?
Definitely be visible. Visibility, unless you're online and you're killing it, and I mean killing it. We're not talking here about like beginners when you're trying to make your first like 10, 100K. We're talking about like big companies. Like you need to be visible all the time, and it's like you need to be very smart about it, because your clients, at the end of the day, we have Gen Z that has way more wealth, I would say, than the previous generation had, right? So These are IT, AI, billionaires, millionaires, like people who have this wealth. So I would definitely be visible because everybody scrolls. I don't get this anymore, to be honest, in the last 2-3 years, but I used to get, my clients are not on social media. The thing is, everybody's on social media, starting from 5'10" up to 55, 85, 95. And all the, like, from the rich to ultra wealthy, everybody's there. I know people who are selling jets and they grew drastically from social media. So, and a couple of billionaires follow me, right? That's kind of the flex I have. But I know who they are. I know what they do. And it's just like you will find your buyer online anytime, 24/7.
Yeah.
So definitely be online, be very visible, be very smart about it, be very tactical. Because tactic wins the long game. Especially, like you say, it's kind of the rest thing that people buy. There's such a big competition. We have big names. We have not big names, but selling big. So it's always about like who's more visible.
Like I said initially, that it is an unorganized industry,
Yeah.
but we are not at the dead end. We are doing good, and we do find our way somehow or the other. The industry is like water. What would you think, how it could unfold as your point of view? And I love having point of view from the people who are not from the industry.
Yeah.
Because they're not biased. They have
Yeah.
not done this for years. They always have something so fresh to say that we actually crave to listen to that. And whoever is smart would adapt it.
See, I had this thing. I went to Sri Lanka, beautiful country, loved it. And there are like some options for me to start trading, like some precious stones. Didn't work out, but it's really exciting thing to do, especially with the jewelry, especially having a couple of the clients on that side. So it's really exciting to like be part of something that has such a huge history. And I think it just evolves, and it has like, I don't think it will be over anytime soon. And I'm sure you don't think that too.
It's surely not going to end. It's surely changing the way. Things happening 3 years ago are not as same. Buying patterns are not same. And I'm not even talking about the end user. I'm talking about the retailer who used to buy X amount of goods. It has changed and shifted to different kind of buckets.
Yeah, I think it became more accessible for everybody to enter, yeah.
And Natalie, what's your view about generative AI? Do you think ways of marketing would be still same, or it gonna change drastically? How can we adapt?
That's the question I'm getting recently a lot. And because like people want to understand what's in the future. We have this human psychology always wants to know, okay, what's next? How can we make a safe space for ourselves, right? AI generated content is so great. Sometimes yesterday I got scammed myself. I was 100% sure it's real, but it became so good. It's really difficult to see the difference, right? But the thing is, everything that goes far left always goes far right too. What I see now in organic content, type of content works that is ultra raw, right? That you can shoot on the camera, in the car, you're going somewhere. You know, it's very authentic. So far, AI has the issue to do that, but it's going to be fine within a couple of maybe months, maybe in a year. I feel like there's always a way to adapt around it. Of course, companies use it drastically, and even I see in Dubai especially, I see a lot of campaigns on the billboards fully generated by AI. And I'm kind of happy that you can create such beautiful things and shortcut the costs. But I also understand it cuts a lot of jobs, and basically economy will suffer. Like at the end of the day, the people who could be your buyers wouldn't be your buyers anymore. It's great and it's not great at the same time. Yes, as business owner, I will save a lot of money and cash, but will it benefit me? Because then I'm going to lose buyers as well.
In what sense?
See, if somebody used to work for me and make some money, and maybe they became client of me, right?
See.
They bought the jewelry, right? A Van Cleef, maybe, you know. So then if they lose their job, they're not my consumers anymore. They need to have other sources of income, which you're not sure what it's going to be. So economy is a very difficult system, and biology, right? So I'm quite slightly afraid of what's going to happen because definitely a lot of people going to lose their job, but well, we'll see, right?
On that note, do you feel that organic marketing is better than ads?
See, both work. And the thing is, Ads have their own purpose. They convert faster. They are like, immediately you see them and etc. Organic is something that imprints them itself in your brain. So ads, it immediately an ad because it's marked. You have all the signs there. And the thing is, we as people, we don't like to be sold to.
Yeah.
We like to think it's us who made the decision, though in 110% of time is the marketer who made that decision for you. You just somebody who followed it. So followed it through. So organic is something that it's more reliable for you. You trust it more. I would say 50-50, to be honest. If you're a beginner as a new seller, a small company, then go with ads. Make sure organic looks nice, it's presentable, but push hard on the ads because it will give you fast transactions and fast conversions. But if we're talking about medium, big size brands, when you want to push that narrative, new story, then it's always organic and influencers and etc. We see a lot of brands, even Huda Beauty, UA-based, locally based company. They are killing it with influencer marketing, right? They rarely have ads themselves, just billboards, around the town, but social media ads rarely. So depends again. So the thing is, every time the client comes and we speak about the strategy, we always define. I'm always, though I'm doing organic only and strategize and we're killing it, if I see that client benefits more from ads, I'm always upfront saying like, that's the way you should go. If you ever need me, you know where to find me.
It's a two-pronged approach. If whatever business needs, whatever floats your boat.
I don't want to push something upon somebody unless I'm 110% sure it's going to work for them.
How social media platforms work for different generations?
Basically, you're asking what to choose if you want to post, right?
Yeah.
Like long form, short form, etc. Really good question because it again reverse engineering. Where's your audience sitting? Is your audience 15, 25? Go for TikTok. Is your audience 25, 35? Bit more, like 45 as well. Who can buy and afford high ticket? Go for Instagram. Slightly older, go for Facebook groups. Facebook groups, I just can't get tired repeating this. Facebook groups is still one of the best place to sell something. Again, high ticket, because you have slightly older generation. They're using only Facebook for them. Instagram is still very wild, wild west. It's wild, wild west for me, and it's my profession. It's my niche. So imagine what it can be for somebody who's not enjoying posting or seeing hundreds of videos all the time. LinkedIn is great. Everything is great. It just, you need to understand where's my audience, what they want, and how can I reach them. And the platforms are just the tools.
And we cannot deny that boomers have money.
Yeah, they do, right? They do. Especially like buying house for $100 like 50 years ago and selling now for like millions.
I'm crippled. If I open TikTok today, I'm crippled, honestly. I'm blinded how wild it is. I don't know from where to start and how to start. I'm trying to keep it, but
it's difficult. But you remember how you were as a teenager, right?
Yeah.
You had a lot of attention. You had a lot of energy. You wanted to spend that. Like we, after 25, we get a bit like calmer, settle down. We don't want this action anymore. But it's a very teenage accustomed platform. Like it's very accustomed to their psychology and the needs. So everything has its own platform, and that's beautiful because then you can choose, but based on what you want. The thing is, these people who are on TikTok right now and they're 15, after 5-10 years, they're going to be your consumers. So keep an eye, like make sure you know what's going on. Don't participate if that's not your audience, but just keep an eye on it.
Natalie, talking about organic content, Becca Bloom is getting mixed responses. Few are hating it, maximum are loving it. What do you think? Is she's doing it on purpose or she's just living her life?
I hear that a lot, I hear that she's a marketing project from luxury companies who are, losing towards China today. So they're trying to create that like person that sells luxury items and shows that it's great. See, I'm not sure, right? I'm not her best friend. And if I was, I wouldn't speak out loud about it if that was the case, But might be, she just became somebody who's so beloved and, kind of hated and beloved. You always have haters.
She's a very good mix, smart mix of organic and salesy at the same time, but you cannot make out.
See, the thing is, she doesn't sell to you. She just shows the way she lives, and while stacking up like hundreds of grams worth of jewelry, just because like she decided to have a walk or go to a friend's party or etc. Right? And she's doing it beautifully. Like, I love her content, is always like really on point. She gives really lovely tips, though again, right, she shows all these luxury items as well, jewelry that kind of creates that image of her. So I'm not sure if she's a project or not, but she definitely does something for the niche and definitely does something for the industry. So
For my curiosity, is luxury project or people like her is a thing?
recently we see a lot of ultra wealthy entering social media, and the thing is, I always get this question, like, if they don't need money, like, what's their purpose? Like, why would I shoot content if I had all the doors open? But the thing is, what people don't understand, when the money is off the table, there's always affluence and power. And affluence as power is something that opens the doors long before you knock on them, right? So let's say if Becca wants to access certain rooms, she will easily, just because her social media is across the globe. So imagine like you enter the room and you're just another wealthy woman, or you enter the room where 30 people are there, all of them know you from your content. There will be the difference from the way they treat you, from the way they're ready to help you, ready to, be your friend and etc. So it makes the difference. It's affluence and the power that people are going after.
What I have understood so far, that if you're a beginner or if you're already there, a seasoned social media person, digital identity is all everyone asks for in a room full of probably 100 billionaire or in a networking event.
Yeah.
If you have not done something for yourself on any given platform, I believe it's not same how it used to be 3 years ago.
Yeah. Now, whenever I enter the room, and I have quite a few followers, couple of followers, and whenever they always ask, okay, what's your social media? I show, and there is always that instant credit of trust I receive, just because how many people follow me. For them, it's immediately the mark in their head. Oh, she's trustworthy. She walks the walk. She doesn't just talk.
Yeah.
So that's something that is like kind of gives you the green card and the green light to everybody, especially if somebody they follows you. That's immediately deal done, sale done, whatever you tell me to do, I'll be there, I'll do it, I'll transfer how much you want. Yeah, I see this a lot of times, especially I'm comparing me a year ago and me now. If we speak about knowledge, there's like, yeah, of course I always develop, there's always more to learn, but it's such a difference, like how people treat me, especially in UAE. We know we are treated the way we enter the room and who we are and what we do, which is not bad, not good. It's just the way it is. So it definitely makes huge difference, no matter who you are. Even I have clients who are starting, like they have tens of millions in their pockets. They're well off. They don't need it. But they're like, I want that authority. I want the doors to open, again, long before I knock on them. So yeah, that's what it gives you. And it's beautiful.
And we have to give it to Dubai. We have to give it to this place which is full of resourceful people. Not everyone just waking up and coming to Dubai. Someone is something or the other. They either are millionaire or they are here to get in that game. And you need to enter in a room with a preparation.
See, when you enter, it's same as entering well-dressed. Today, you look so beautiful, right? Like you're prepared, you have a nice suit and stuff. I looked at you, first image was like, wow, he's so prepared, so nicely dressed. So the same as social media, it's kind of part of your outfit. People greet you the way you look, and people greet you the way you're presented online. Because again, if other people gave you follow, means you're worthy. So that's what it is.
Oh, I'm going to brain tattoo that. I'm experiencing that. Even I could resonate with your journey. Year before, I found that there's no one talking about jewelry enough, If I see older self looking for information, and that if I'm not from the family of jewelers, if I'm not from that clan, chosen people, and how would I enter this game? I wasn't sure about my journey, honestly. Yeah. I was like, let's do it. Let's start it and let's see where it goes. I could not believe how many people want me to visit their country or come to Dubai and record this. I've had no clue a year before.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, they know me even though I don't know them,
It
right?
happened with me, and I'm still absorbing that.
It opens again the doors that to like how it happens if you're just starting off is you need to go with that ladder, right?
Yeah.
You contact somebody on kind of lower, then if they communicate with their manager, founder, then. But this opens the door directly to the founders, and they see you. They're like, "Oh, I want to work with you. I
Yeah.
want to be around you. I want your mentorship. I want your services, and etc." And it's just like direct access. And you think like 50 years ago, if you wanted something, you need to go and knock on the
On the door.
doors and ask. And usually there's always somebody who will block you because it's their purpose. It's assistance, it's the security. They will block you. Nobody's there to block you. Just like use and abuse social media as much as you can. I just can't stop saying that. Use and abuse it. Just be present, even if you're not good yet, even if you don't getting this million views, even if you are not like killing it. Start where you are as a company again, right? Try until you crack it. Try hire people like for the strategies. Like majority of time, the difference is not the beauty of the content, but the strategy behind it, because it might be shot on, like my content, it's shot mostly where I am, in the kitchen, in the living room, in the car, still getting huge engagement simply because of the value I share. So if there is something you can share that is different, that tells a story, you will do it well.
People can say 100 things, but it's always value trade-off.
Yeah.
Gary Vee, my virtual dad, I pray him for all the good things that he has taught us. Without, I mean, intentionally or unintentionally, whatever he says, he has done that. He has done that, and he says that return on social media is bigger than return on any kind of investment, be it property, be it your bitcoins or anything.
Yeah.
I've seen people starting a year ago, probably, or 2 years ago, are at a different stage at this moment. And this message needs to go to all the jewelers that as much as they're working on their brick and mortar presence, they need to have amazing AI structure for their new target audience,
Yeah.
and they can't just deny that.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree.
Natalie, you have shared actually great tips, and some of them are super practical. Even examples were not from the jewelry industry, but they are very much adaptable. I will now take you to Gold Souk. Have you been there ever?
Yes, I've installed a couple of jewelry items here because I just didn't need them. Beautiful place. I love especially going to Gulf countries, to the
Yeah.
gold souks. I mean, you have it everywhere. But here is very different culturally. I feel like it's so engraved in the culture.
It's wilderness, it's culture, it's tradition. You see people, chaos and everything. My question to you is that all shops look same. How do you think they can stand out?
Yeah, so I've basically been to the Gold Souk a couple of times. I love visiting the ones in the Gulf countries. It's definitely a different experience. Definitely very beautiful to have communication with the sellers. But the only thing I always notice is none of them is any different than the other shops. So what I would just recommend is find something. I do that with my clients. Find something that makes you different and amplify it in your marketing, in your social media, and etc. So yeah, I mean, I would just find something that stands me out, because now you go and you just decide based on the price they offer. Why not to change that? Why not to become the Apple, right? Apple of the Gold Souk, kind of, because you go to Apple, you dedicated to go and buy the Apple watch or the iPhone and etc. You go there simply because you have engraved that that's the best product you can get. No offense to the Samsung, but well, I'm an Apple girly, right? My advice is to find that difference and amplify it as much as you can.
And that would be awesome. But would you think it would be practical? Because all shops look same, product is same. You cannot do much about the diamond jewelry people prefer. It's tourist based. People from all around the world are coming there and buying. Do you think it would be actually practical for all the shops to create different kind of content and be known for their what they stand for?
See, decision is made, especially in UAE, where people are researching before going somewhere, because it's quite tough to sit in car, sit in the traffic. It takes hour, maybe half an hour to go somewhere. So what I see is, again, the consumer, like how consumers behave. They first research, Google, okay, where should I go? If you're so good that you stand out already on that stage, and your name is all around, especially now Google and social media is connected. So when you Google something, short form content appears as well. So if you're so good in short form content, then it appears, so you can see it and you immediately like grab the name, grab location, you go there. So decision is kind of already pre-made while researching. So if companies can do that, stand out on that stage, then that will make the difference, because I will not just go to the gold souk to, go around and look for the best option. I will go particularly to that shop, and that will make the difference.
And is that your concluding note for today?
I would say so. Yeah. Just, it's all about understanding how people behave, how they buy, why they purchase, and etc.
Natalie, you're doing phenomenal and you shared some really good insights. I'm super happy that what it came out from this conversation would be of great value to all the audience, be from the jewelry industry or from the outside. And I'm sure it didn't came easy to you, right? So as on date, what is something so non-negotiable for you? And given chance, you would never do that again or go back to the same person or thing or psychology?
I would say always stand on your ground, even if nobody agrees around you, because at that certain part of the world or community or the place, even the family, friendships, employers, and etc., nobody might be agreeing with you. But just as long as you're truthful towards yourself and who you are and what you do, you will change these places, you will change these communities, and the right people will always come to you. It might just take a little bit more time, just be patient. No need for it to happen overnight, but just stand your ground, because the biggest thing you will regret is just being dishonest towards yourself. Nothing else. I swear on this. I will swear on this like many times. At the end of the day, when you're gonna be at the deathbed, the only thing you will regret is I could do better and more for myself, because the only person you will be around 24/7 is yourself. Nobody else, not your spouse, not your children, not your family, and etc. So just be truthful, stand on your ground. Everything will align. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you for that amazing concluding note, Natalie. It was an absolute honor to have you on this platform, and I do believe we are able to get best value to our audience, and in future I would love to connect again.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it so much. It felt like a minute, literally, like it was such a nice conversation.
Thanks to you. You
Sure.
were very swift. I do hope you really enjoyed this conversation, and you can leave your feedback below in the comments. This podcast is going to be on 7 different platforms. Do interact with each of them. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We would be taking up those questions in next episode. And if you feel that you are longing for a topic that's not covered on this platform, please do comment again. I'm your host, Krishna. Till we meet again, thank you.